Welcome to Spirit of Business. Tjoni with you here, and I'm very happy to be sharing some space today with the beautiful Bogusia. How are you going today?
Hello, I'm very, very good. Thank you.
So, would you like to maybe share just a little snapshot of where you are with your business right now?
So, what I do is energy healing. It's mostly one-on-one sessions. Sometimes they happen in person if someone is in the place where I'm located. Otherwise, it happens online. And I'm trying to navigate now how to make it more, how do you say it, public, that people just know about it. Because I have like some fixed clients that are working for me for a few years, but I want to know like what's blocking the spreading the word about it, because it's something very natural to me. It's like the longer I'm staying in Egypt, the stronger my gifts are becoming. It's not something I'm studying, it's something that just comes through me, and I'm every time amazed how it works. It brings me so much joy that I would like to really share that with more people and bring this gift that it brings within itself.
Thank you so much for sharing. All right, so see you on the other side. So, first of all, I ask for a space to open up that is like the container of the spirit of business. And as soon as I do that, I'm in a forest and kind of under the shade on a path, and it's a really rich like jungle, and there's sun shining. It feels almost tropical. Hmm. That's kind of curious. All right, so I asked for the spirit of business to come out, and straight away this small cat came out. And then behind it, a huge, like a big cat, like more like a panther, like that, like a big cat, but like huge. And then I said, well, which one of you is the spirit of business? But then an essence kind of came in, bridging the two, that was kind of like a light body version of you. And this is curious to me because a book started coming through called The Chosen One a few years ago, and it was just being shown to me. So I was just kind of transcribing this novel. I wrote about half of it, and oddly, I just mentioned it to a friend last night because I want to get back and finish it. But in that, there were these creatures and there were these little cats that felt almost like cartoonish, and like in Japan they have like lots of like these little cartoonish kind of like that kind of feeling. And there was also then these huge big black creatures that were kind of like a shadow. And as the story progressed, it was found that every person actually had a little cat and the shadow. And the cat was like the curious kind of spirit. And it was the ideas and the inspiration and the lightness and the joy. And that the shadow was the memory, and it was kind of like a protective force. And then each actual human was kind of in between the two. And even in the Japanese theater style that came out of like Hiroshima, Buto. And
Mm.
in Buto training, when you're moving around a space, you imagine that you have this light body in front of you and a shadow behind you, like the spirit and the shadow, and that you're always moving in the center of that space. So that came up. It's
Interesting.
kind of cute that a whole story scenario has come into this space. So I will explore further. By
Mm.
the way, do cats or panthers, like, is there anything resonant in that for you particularly?
Well, I love cats. I have a little cat and I love segments, and it's often like the animal that I'm connecting with.
Mm.
The big cats.
Yeah, actually, that's right. I was asking for a blessing from the earth and this property, literally, to be able to be allowed to create business here. Because one thing that's come through for me strongly in the last 5 to 10 years, especially when I was in Byron Bay and connecting really quite deeply with the energies of that land, that we have to ask permission from the ancestors and from the land to be able to run businesses. Otherwise, we're going to be running upstream, and we need that communion with them to be functioning in a respectful space. And so when I was doing that work here, I wasn't asking to connect with any deities. And in fact, I don't in general like that idea of connecting with deities. It doesn't feel resonant for me. Probably the most resonant being here would be the essence of Queen Hatshepsut, because she brought through the sacred commerce. But who came through? Sekhmet. It came through so strong and resonant. And even as I'm saying that, I'm getting massive chills down my spine, as the strong female presence who is so centered and resonant that she doesn't need to yell, she doesn't need to roar, even though she could. It's like a self-containment, and she just creates this essence around her that just draws people are drawn to her from all over the world. So that's what I'm thinking of when the big cat and when you're talking about Sekhmet, that's what comes to me.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. As I was looking at this triad of the big cat and the little cat, and basically your essence in the center, and I was asking, okay, so what is the spirit of this business? Who should I be talking to? And the three elements started to merge almost like a totem pole, like the Native American totems, where you see the different like generations, like almost like one on top of the other, the little cat and your essence and the big cat, all in this totem pole. And it was saying that that there is no separation between those, that I need to speak to that as a whole. And so then I asked, what is the ideal energy for this kind of space? And the jungle actually faded away, and it became surrounded by the ocean. And so, yeah, and so this totem, like right on the edge of the ocean. It doesn't necessarily mean you've got to go to the ocean, but the energy of it. Yeah, it's just kind of showing the fluidity and the tidal like pull of the ocean, that in the jungle it's like rich and luscious, but it's also it's almost quite isolating in there, because it's like so comfortable, but then there's no, like, you can't kind of see beyond, like in the vision in a dense jungle, you can't really see more than a few meters away. So it kind of feels nice, but there's no way for people to kind of find you. And being this like totem, which is almost like this beacon on the edge of the ocean, it's creating this space where the tides will bring the people to you that need your work. So now I'm just asking, like, what do you need to do in order to make that happen? And as I'm asking that, I'm seeing the totem actually kind of stretching up and turning almost into, like, it looks like a lighthouse. And so I'm seeing the light shining out from the top. So it's literally saying to shine that light out so people can see it from afar. So now I'm just asking, okay, that's nice energetically, but how does that happen practically? I'm asking it to show me like what to actually do, and it's literally just showing that the light on the lighthouse is there. You've just got to literally like plug it in, like plug the electricity in. So like the structure is already kind of there, and the resonance is already there. You've just got to plug it in so people can see the thing. Is that resonant? Is that saying anything right now?
For sure, yeah. Then it's just the question, okay, where do we plug in? How?
Yeah, exactly. What's the first step?
Yeah.
It's showing like a whole global network of people all holding hands, so creating kind of like a mesh around the whole world, and that you're literally sending your light like one-on-one to the next person, and then they're kind of passing it on. So rather than broadcasting to everybody all at once, it's about broadcasting to the closer community, and then they can kind of pass it on. And it's curious, it doesn't want to show me the exact steps, but I feel like I want to bring some muscle testing in, which
Mm.
which I don't normally do in this, but just to check which are the best actual practical spaces to inhabit, right? So could you muscle test, please? Do we need to start with the digital space?
Yeah, it says yes.
And so as far as getting started, can you just test for each one of these things, a website,
Yeah.
video content?
Hmm. That's so slow.
Okay. Audio?
Yes.
I just got a massive tingle, actually.
You got what?
Got a massive tingle down my spine
Oh, wow.
for audio.
That's a confirmation. Yeah.
Mm. Articles, like written articles.
Yes.
Is there anything else?
Something else.
So then for the audio, what about podcasts?
Says yes.
Yeah, another tingle. Ha. Uh, what about like guided visualizations or meditations?
No.
Is there anything else for audio?
Well, in general, I started recording light language transmissions.
Oh,
Uh, Usually I do like video of the space around, or like it's a water, the Nile, or burned palm tree, that just symbolize certain things. And then I bring the intention and I start recording light language, but without me being seen.
okay.
So kind of I play more with the visual because in general, yeah, during the light language channel, you just have to actually tune in and listen, then look at me.
Okay, beautiful. And so is that one of the important ones to continue with the audio only?
Yes.
Okay. And as far as audio goes, and is there anything else that you should be doing?
No.
Okay. Okay, so for the audio, so you've got your podcasts and then you've got the light language. Then regarding articles, so is there anything you're already doing on articles?
Well, usually I've been writing a lot and just making posts on my social media. I don't know if I can call it articles, but it's more something that comes through. When it comes through, then I'm writing, then I'm just in the flow. It's not from thinking.
Well, I guess if you can be then putting those also into blog posts on your website, then you've got a central container for all of that. And so they don't need to be like super, super long posts either.
Yeah.
So under articles, are the social media posts what it's referring to?
Yeah.
And is there anything else that you should be doing as far as written work?
It says yes.
Okay. Does that mean simply taking those social media posts and putting them on a blog?
Yeah.
Okay. And then is there anything extra that you should be doing also?
It says yes.
Okay. Is it about personal reflections?
No.
Is it about instructions, like instructing people on different things?
No.
Is it purely intuitive downloads?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else other than that?
No.
Okay. So for the intuitive downloads, is it important to have an intent at the start of each download?
No.
Is it appropriate to simply turn up and start writing a download?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, I'm getting so many tingles with this. Yeah. It's just all going to write itself. And so then your website will be hosting all of these. So the audio work of doing podcasts and light language, and then the articles of taking your social media posts and also putting those on your website, then doing intuitive downloads on the website and then sharing them to social media. And so that's the way that I generally try to work with what I'm doing. I try to start with the blog posts first and then share out to everywhere so that everything then gets funneled back in. As far as the written work, would an external publishing site as well as the website be useful for the written pieces?
It says yes.
Okay, I thought so. Can you ask it, is Medium the most appropriate space?
Yeah.
Can you also check for, is Substack the most appropriate space?
No.
Yeah, thought you'd say that. So with Medium, it's a publishing site, so you create a profile, but it's specifically for writing-based creators. And you can actually create your communities. It's really good for building up people because there's already traffic there. The thing that I like about it, I just tested this recently, is that in Substack, if you want to put one of the articles from your website on there, you need to copy it and paste it, but then change it so it's different enough that the algorithms don't go crazy, because all the search engines, they don't like replicated material. But on Medium, to do it, you actually just put your URL from your website into it, and it will replicate it there, but it's done in such a way that it's accepted that it's a replica from this other site, so it doesn't mess up your algorithms, and it's super fast as well. So yeah, so that's a really good space. So can you please check, should the audio be going out to podcasting platforms?
Yes.
And also Spotify?
Yes. Oh my God, it looks like I'm gonna have serious work to do.
Well, yes, and dash, but again, this is stuff that we can be working on together, because all of the stuff that you've got to do, I've got to do similarly. And so, and I'm sure a lot of the other women will as well. We can start building up this bank actually. Let's talk about that again after you've done your branding sessions with Roxy, because there's a big space of collaboration here that we can all do. Is there anything else that we need to add to this list of offerings and platforms?
No.
Okay, perfect. All righty. So I'm just going to tune in again, see if I can catch a bit more before this recording stops. I'm just going to share what I saw, and then when we're having our little break, I'm just going to tune in a bit more and get some reference for it. But it was showing me to get a leaf out of the jungle and to bring it out into this open space. It's about taking the energy of this vibrancy and this lusciousness that you inherently have, and just bringing like a little offering, a little template, a little bit of that into this other space where it doesn't exist yet. And so you don't need to bring the whole jungle with you, just one little leaf, and it's just showing the stark contrast between this one beautiful, it's actually kind of like a heart-shaped leaf, like from a Bodhi tree or something like that. I was just asking a little bit more practically what it was kind of showing me, and I just kept seeing literally just like taking this like one leaf from the jungle and just bringing out one leaf. So it's kind of speaking to me about just sharing like one snippet at a time, that's enough to kind of entice people, because the little snippets of your work, when you take them out of the jungle and into this more broader open kind of space, they're just going to stand out so much that it's going to be more noticeable just having like one leaf than having like bringing a whole jungle into the, well, it kind of felt like a desert on the edge of the ocean, you know. Maybe I was in Dahab or something. When you're doing your little videos of the light language, to actually just pick a leaf and to be holding like the leaf in front of the phone when you're starting the light language and then taking it away. And so then when you've got all of your videos, you're just going to see like a little leaf at the bottom of each one. Like it kind of showed itself as being partly visually of your branding. The dreaming that I'm seeing for you, like it's so simple. It's not wanting a whole lot else. So it's saying that like you are on the right track. You do know what you're doing. There's not really a whole lot, if anything, that needs to be changed. It's just about the practical step.
About like practical. Yeah.
Mm. So
Amazing.
yeah, is there anything else that you'd like to ask?
Aside of my energy work on a distance or in person, there are the projects that are connected to it that maybe if there is any guidance, it's amazing. If it's too much or too far, it's also good. But what it is, it's mostly working here with the horses. So offering sessions in nature. I already found a space where the horses participate in it. And the other part is spiritual retreats also with the horses for like several nights in the desert. And if there is anything that the fields, like can communicate through you about it, amazing. If not, I'm doing it anyway. So
Yeah. All right, gorgeous. And so when you talk about working with the horses, is that as in the work is for the horses, or you're bringing people in so that they're receiving the
So there is a table then. It's like outside in the field on a table. And it's like energetic session, not naked, not bikini, nothing. You're dressed. I'm just like scanning, working, bringing things forward. And the horses, they are amazing because once they are invited to the space, and I already checked which horses have it naturally, that they just come and they touch the certain part of the body and they also give the healing, that they participate in it. And I just want to create this type of experience here in Egypt.
Wow, that's gorgeous. I want to be on the table. As soon as I asked that, I just saw like all of these horses just going zoom and just like all like in a circle all around the totem pole. So yes. I'm seeing them like moving backwards and forwards. It's like they are actually acting as the bridge between that luscious jungle and this totem area in the desert. They're kind of moving backwards and forwards. Yeah, it's just showing such a beautiful, strong, positive yes. But I'm also seeing this kind of like mountainous path with like a trail of horses and people kind of moving along this path that is mountainous but not in the desert. I'm being told that at the moment it's bringing that luscious tropical energy into the desert space and the energetic desert, not necessarily like the physical desert, but it's going to be a two-way street somehow, and that ultimately you'll be also creating these kind of spaces in another country and in another environment. I'm seeing a more like forested, mountainous kind of space as well, not instead of. And so that will just be a natural progression, is what I'm seeing. Yeah, wow, I love this idea so much. It's beautiful. And I'm saying, what else do you need to know? And I'm saying, start now, like start now, like really just start. It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not that you're building up one body of work and then this is happening as well. It's like, no, it's all working together in such beautiful synergy. The idea with the horses is actually going to be creating some cohesion with people that are needing your personal work, but it might be outside of their language so far. But the idea of working with the horses is actually going to bring them to you.
Mm.
So I'm getting told like they're really a bridge builder.
Mm. the horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
and people that are kind of wanting more of a experience outside the mainstream and outside the, what's kind of socially normal, all of these kinds of things. Even Egyptians themselves, because for Muslims, because in Islam, there are some boundaries around what's kind of considered haram or not, you know. And so for some people really needing that energy kind of work, putting it in the context of working with horses will create a kind of a socially safe space.
Mm.
But also for the broader like Western clientele and partnership, it will be bringing in people that like the idea of having some kind of therapeutic work in a setting around horses without necessarily saying it's light language, because that can push away a lot of people that would be benefiting from the work.
Mm-hmm.
So even as you're speaking, you can be speaking about it as energy work rather than specifically light language. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because there are people who doesn't know that. So for them it's like weird thing until they experience. And
It could be seen as a bit woo-woo,
yeah.
and they might actually really like the idea, but just because of the label. So this is just coming to not what you're offering, but how you're offering it. Sell them what they want and give them what they need.
Yeah.
So therapeutic work with horses, especially if you're doing more local advertising, will be more received. Whereas this areas like medium, where there already are a lot of healers working in that area, well, in that realm, you can talk about the light language, and it's already something that people are cohesive with. And so you know it with your muscle testing anyway, that you can be testing all of these spaces and what kinds of words and languages you can be using in all of those spaces. So then it will be interesting to see how then when you're doing the branding work with Roxy, how these insights will then relate into that. Cool.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. It is amazing. So we need to chat more about it too, because we're all just getting set to really just churn up this whole body of work around really well integrated with full integrity, culturally respectful, mutually symbiotic experiences here in Luxor. And like I feel like just we're all just ready to shoot off now. So it's
Yeah.
beautiful timing to be doing all this branding work. Thank you so much for coming to play.
Well, I love it. I'm mind blown. It was so much more than I could expect.
Oh, I'm really
Uh,
happy to hear that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm very, very happy. It gave so much clarity and guidance. I'm super happy.
beautiful.
Super happy with it. Yeah.
What's one takeaway that you feel has been the strongest for this session?
I would say there's like everything because there's so much guidance, especially with the muscle testing. This is like exactly what I needed because it's easy to have an idea, but when you don't have structure and like guidelines, kind of like okay, where, how, what, and this is like very, giving some air, to the space, like what movement to take, what's aligned, and with the muscle testing and everything. But also another thing is the bring some offering or just a question to the land, permission for like bringing some work here and asking for this permission and support of the land, what it brings. And like in Peru, in the Andean cosmology, it's so natural that people prepare offering with the tobacco, with the chocolate. When they go to the mountains, they talk to the spirits, and there's always this exchange of a mandala from the beautiful flowers or anything. And then we're coming back to the out of there, and we forgot about it. So it's a good reminder that it's not only there in this cosmology, but it can be everywhere. We're also here on this sacred land. So I think it should be natural that we ask for permission and support of the land and the spirits here.
That's so true. And when I was staying in Byron Bay, so many businesses there, they get started and they just fall apart very, very quickly. I always wanted to stay there, but the ancestral energy from the Indigenous people there is so strong. They were wiped out under horrendous situations. And so, as you can imagine, like there's a lot of anger, like really, and mourning, like really deep in the earth there. And I had a lot of experiences, both myself and doing healing work with other people, of really like physical manifestations of things, like being dragged around in bed at night, being choked. It was really full on. And eventually, when I did connect with one of the spirits there, she said to me, "What do you want here?" And this, by the way, is after I had just done some massive ancestral clearing, because it's my ancestors that were in there just wiping out that population. And so I've been doing like quite a few years of deep ancestral work, and I just hit this point of just feeling these balls and chains just exploding from my feet. And I just saw all of that, my ancestors that had been directly or indirectly involved, just like kind of exploding into like just dust and blowing away. And it was after that that this woman, who I ended up, I still have a beautiful connection with her, or what I perceive as her. And she said, "Okay, so what do you want?" And I said, "Well, I just want to be here and just help the Indigenous people and take care of the earth." And she said, "Bullshit. What do you want?" I said, "Well, I want to stay here and make cool art with my friends." She said, "Right, okay, that's fine. You can do that. Just be honest about it." And she said, "But, if you're going to make business here, tithe it. Do your 10% tithing. Put it into the environment. Put it into planting. Put it into Indigenous culture. Put it into local education. Like, just give back. But more importantly, just be aware that we're in a multi-dimensional field, and to just give honor to those people." And so then when I was here the other day, just connecting in with the ancestors, and I said, I would love your blessing, and any assistance. What can I offer you in return? And she said, doing the work of even just doing our garden with so much love. She said that love is going straight into the earth, and it's just moving out, and all of the spirits are feeling that. And so, when you're with the horses, when you're just appreciating the nature, when you're just walking barefoot on the earth, when you're just touching that leaf of that tree and being grateful for it, it's almost like the healing energy with, if you're doing Reiki, or if you're taking DMSO, or, it will make its way into the body where it needs to be. And so likewise in the earth, when we're sending love to her in any way, it is making its way like into the temples and to the ancestors and to all of those various energies. So you're doing it, and I'm excited to talk more about this. This is going to be fun. As you're building your platforms, how are people able to get in touch with you if they would like to engage with some of your beautiful healing work?
Well, I guess at this moment, the easiest way is to find me just through Facebook or Instagram. And on Instagram, it's I see you, and then name under it. And on Facebook, it's Bogumila Belka. On Instagram, there's a link to book a session or to read about my work. And yeah, we're all going to be working more about branding of our business in the coming days. So hopefully that will blossom, and there will be way more to read about it. But at this moment, it's mostly through social media, easiest way.
Beautiful. So thank you so much for joining me today, and looking forward to more explorations with you and your gorgeous work.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. And for those of you watching at home, if you are interested in having a reading or chatting to me about my work, you can find me at tjoni.com. That's TJONI.com, and you'll find all the other media links in the description box and in the credits. So till next time, my friends, be well and have a beautiful day. Ciao for now.